The discovery of the weakened seal at the monolith was a stark reminder of the persistent threat posed by the shadow. It became clear that our efforts to protect Elysium required a deeper understanding of the ancient defenses and the relics that powered them. Dr. Evans and Leora dove into the ancient texts with renewed vigor, seeking clues that might lead us to additional relics and knowledge about the shadow. One evening, as we pored over the texts in the village's central hall, Leora made a significant breakthrough. These texts mention a hidden archive, a repository of knowledge known as the Hall of Whispering Stones, she said, her eyes gleaming with excitement. It is said to contain detailed records of the ancient Elysian's battle against the shadow and instructions for creating powerful relics. Captain Reyes immediately saw the importance of this discovery. If we can find the Hall of Whispering Stones, we might gain the knowledge we need to strengthen our defenses permanently. We need to organize an expedition to locate it. The council quickly approved the mission. Our team, Captain Reyes, Leora, Dr. Evans, Anara, Sarah, and I, prepared for what promised to be a challenging journey. The texts provided only vague hints about the hall's location, suggesting it was hidden deep within the mountains of eternal night, a range that lay beyond our explored territory. As we set out, the villagers once again gathered to see us off, their faces a mix of hope and concern. The journey ahead was filled with uncertainty, but the potential reward, a deeper understanding of the shadow and the means to combat it, was too important to ignore. The mountains of eternal night were as formidable as their name suggested. The terrain was rugged and treacherous, with steep cliffs and narrow passes that tested our endurance and resolve. The higher we climbed, the colder the air became, and the perpetual twilight cast eerie shadows over the landscape. Despite the challenges, our determination never wavered. Each night, as we camped under the stars, we reviewed our progress and strategized for the next day's journey. Anara shared her insights into the ancient texts, her deep connection to Elysian history providing valuable guidance. After several days of arduous travel, we reached a plateau that offered a breathtaking view of the surrounding mountains. It was there, among the ancient ruins scattered across the plateau, that we found the entrance to the Hall of Whispering Stones. The entrance was marked by a massive stone archway, inscribed with symbols that matched those in the texts. We entered the hall with a mixture of awe and reverence. The interior was vast, with towering stone pillars and walls covered in intricate carvings. The air was filled with a faint, melodic whispering, as if the stones themselves were speaking to us. At the far end of the hall stood a massive stone altar, covered in ancient runes. Dr. Evans and Leora immediately set to work deciphering the runes and exploring the hall's many chambers. The wealth of knowledge contained within the hall was staggering: scrolls, tablets, and carvings that detailed the history of the Elysians, their battles against the shadow, and the creation of powerful relics. One of the most significant discoveries was a series of scrolls that described the construction of a grand relic known as the Heart of Elysium. This artifact was said to have the power to amplify the protective energies of other relics and create a barrier strong enough to repel even the most potent manifestations of the shadow. "This is exactly what we need," Leora said, her voice filled with excitement. "If we can construct the Heart of Elysium, it could provide us with the ultimate defense against the shadow." The scrolls provided detailed instructions for creating the Heart of Elysium, but the process was complex and required rare materials scattered across Elysium. We carefully documented the instructions and began planning our next steps. The first task was to gather the necessary materials, a mission that would take us to various parts of the planet. As we prepared to leave the Hall of Whispering Stones, we felt a renewed sense of purpose. The knowledge we had gained was invaluable, providing us with the tools we needed to protect Elysium. The journey ahead would be challenging, but we were determined to succeed. The return journey to the village was filled with anticipation. We shared the news of our discoveries with the council, and plans were quickly made to gather the materials for the Heart of Elysium. Teams were assembled, each tasked with retrieving a specific material from a different part of the planet. Captain Reyes and I were assigned to retrieve a rare crystal known as the Lumina Shard, which was said to be found in the crystal caverns to the north. Sarah and Anara were tasked with finding the starfire ore, a metal that could only be mined from the depths of the Fire Mountains. Dr. Evans and Leora would work on deciphering additional texts and coordinating the efforts from the village. Our journey to the Crystal Caverns was filled with both excitement and trepidation. The caverns were known for their beauty, but they were also fraught with dangers. The crystal formations within were delicate and easily disturbed, and the caverns themselves were home to various creatures that had adapted to the dark, crystalline environment. As we ventured deeper into the caverns, the walls began to shimmer with the light of countless crystals. The air was cool and filled with a faint, musical hum, the sound of the crystals resonating with our movements. It was a breathtaking sight, a testament to the beauty and mystery of Elysium. We navigated the narrow passages and carefully extracted the luminous shards, ensuring that we did not disturb the delicate balance of the caverns. The process was painstaking, but we managed to gather the crystals we needed without incident. Meanwhile, Sarah and Anara faced their own challenges in the Fire Mountains. The intense heat and volatile environment made mining the starfire a daunting task, but their determination and resourcefulness saw them through. They returned with the precious metal, their faces flushed with triumph. Back at the village, Dr. Evans and Leora had made significant progress in deciphering the additional texts. They had uncovered more information about the construction of the heart of Elysium, including the final step, a ritual that would infuse the artifact with the protective energies of the Staff of Elandra and the other relics. With all the materials gathered, we began the meticulous process of constructing the heart of Elysium. It was a labor of love and dedication, each step bringing us closer to our goal. The entire village participated, their collective efforts a testament to our unity and determination. The final step of the process was the ritual. We gathered in the central square, the heart of Elysium placed on a specially constructed pedestal. Anara led the ritual, her voice strong and clear as she chanted the ancient incantations. The air crackled with energy as we channeled the power of the relics into the heart. As the ritual reached its climax, the heart of Elysium began to glow with a brilliant, radiant light. The energy pulsed outward, enveloping the village in a protective barrier. The light was so intense that we had to shield our eyes, but we could feel its warmth and strength. When the light finally subsided, the heart of Elysium stood as a beacon of hope and protection. The barrier around the village shimmered with renewed energy, and we knew that we had succeeded. The heart of Elysium was a powerful defense, a testament to our determination and unity. The villagers erupted in cheers and applause, their faces filled with joy and relief. We had achieved something extraordinary, something that would protect Elysium for generations to come. As we stood there, basking in the glow of our achievement, we knew that our journey was far from over. The shadow was still out there, but we were stronger and more united than ever. The journey continued, and with it, the promise of discovery, growth, and renewal. We were the protectors of Elysium, united in our purpose and determined to safeguard the future of this extraordinary world. The shadows of the past had risen, but we had faced them with courage and unity. And as we moved forward, we did so with a deep sense of hope and a firm belief in the power of our collective strength. The journey was far from over, but we were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Determined to protect Elysium and ensure its future, we moved forward with a sense of purpose and an unbreakable resolve. With the heart of Elysium completed and the village now enveloped in its protective barrier, we felt a sense of security and accomplishment. But deep down, we all knew that this was not the end. The shadow's threat loomed ever-present, and there was a palpable sense that the final confrontation was imminent. We needed to prepare for what could be the ultimate battle for Elysium. Captain Reyes convened a council meeting to discuss our next steps. The heart of Elysium has bought us time and protection, but we need to take the fight to the shadow, she began. We cannot remain on the defensive. We must seek out the source of the shadow and eliminate it once and for all. Anara nodded in agreement. The ancient texts speak of a dark rift, a place where the shadow's power is strongest. If we can locate and destroy it, we might be able to eradicate the shadow's presence from Elysium. Dr. Evans added, the Hall of Whispering Stones mentioned a key, a relic known as the Lightbringer, which has the power to close the rift. We need to find this relic and use it to seal the Shadow's gateway. The plan was set. Our mission was to locate the Lightbringer and confront the Shadow at its source. The stakes had never been higher, but our resolve was unwavering. We gathered our supplies, weapons, and relics, knowing that this journey would be the most dangerous yet. Our team, Captain Reyes, Anara, Leora, Sarah, Dr. Evans, and I, set out with a sense of urgency. The villagers saw us off with words of encouragement and hope, their faces reflecting the gravity of the situation. We traveled through familiar forests and crossed treacherous terrain. Our destination a place known only in legends, the Abyss of Shadows. The Abyss was located deep within the heart of Elysium's most forbidding region, a place where even the bravest explorers dared not venture. The land grew darker and more desolate as we approached, the air thick with an oppressive energy. The very ground seemed to pulse with malevolence, a stark contrast to the vibrant life we had left behind. As we neared the abyss, we encountered increasing resistance. The Shadow's minions, twisted creatures born of darkness, emerged to thwart our progress. They were relentless, their attacks fueled by the malevolent energy of the Shadow. But we fought back with equal ferocity, our determination and the power of the relics guiding us. In the midst of one particularly fierce battle, we stumbled upon an ancient ruin. Its architecture was unlike anything we had seen before, its design intricate and otherworldly. Leora recognized the symbols etched into the stone. "This is it," she said breathlessly. "The Lightbringer is here." We entered the ruin cautiously, aware that the Shadow would not let us claim the relic without a fight. The interior was a labyrinth of corridors and chambers, each one filled with traps and guardians. But we navigated the challenges with skill and determination, driven by the knowledge that the fate of Elysium rested on our success. At the heart of the ruin, we found the Lightbringer. It was a magnificent artifact, a staff crafted from a luminous, otherworldly material that glowed with an inner light. As we approached, the staff responded to our presence, its light intensifying. Anara carefully lifted the Lightbringer, its power resonating with the other relics we carried. With the Lightbringer in hand, we made our way to the Abyss of Shadows. The journey was grueling, the terrain growing more hostile and the Shadow's attacks more frequent. But we pressed on, our resolve unshaken. The Abyss was a vast, dark chasm that seemed to swallow all light and hope. It was here that the Shadow's presence was strongest, its malevolent energy radiating from the depths. As we stood at the edge of the chasm, we could feel the weight of the darkness pressing down on us. Captain Reyes held the Lightbringer aloft, its light cutting through the darkness. "This is it," she said, her voice steady. "We end this now." We descended into the abyss, the Lightbringer guiding our way. The darkness grew thicker, more oppressive, as we ventured deeper. The air was filled with whispers and malevolent laughter, the voices of the Shadow taunting us. But we did not falter. We knew that this was our final stand. At the heart of the abyss, we found the rift. It was a swirling vortex of darkness, a gateway through which the Shadow poured into our world. The sight of it filled us with dread, but also with a fierce determination to end the Shadow's reign. Anara stepped forward, the Lightbringer in her hands. "This is for Elysium," she said, her voice echoing in the darkness. She plunged the Lightbringer into the heart of the rift, its light exploding outward in a brilliant, blinding flash. The Shadow screamed in fury, its essence writhing and twisting as the Lightbringer's power surged through the rift. The darkness began to recede, pulled back into the void from which it came. The ground shook, the very fabric of reality trembling as the rift closed. We stood there, watching as the last vestiges of the Shadow were drawn into the void. The Lightbringer's light continued to shine, a beacon of hope and victory. When the rift finally closed, the abyss was filled with a profound silence, the oppressive darkness replaced by a sense of peace and calm. Exhausted but triumphant, we made our way back to the surface. The landscape that had once been dark and desolate was now bathed in light, the malevolent energy of the Shadow replaced by a vibrant, life-affirming force. As we emerged from the abyss, we were greeted by the sight of Elysium in all its glory, its beauty and vitality restored. The journey back to the village was filled with a sense of elation and relief. We had faced the shadow and emerged victorious. The villagers greeted us with cheers and celebrations, their faces alight with joy and gratitude. In the days that followed, we worked to ensure that the Lightbringer's power was integrated into our defenses, reinforcing the heart of Elysium and the protective barrier around the village. The knowledge we had gained from the Hall of Whispering Stones was shared with all, ensuring that future generations would be prepared to face any threats that might arise. As we stood together, looking out over the vibrant landscape of Elysium, we knew that our journey had been worth every challenge and sacrifice. We had protected our world and ensured its future. And as we looked to the horizon, we felt a deep sense of hope and a firm belief in the power of our collective strength. The journey was far from over, but we were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Determined to protect Elysium and ensure its future, we moved forward with a sense of purpose and an unbreakable resolve. Together, we had faced the shadows of the past and emerged stronger, united in our mission to safeguard the extraordinary world of Elysium.